Today, we're going to make a super fun little sorting basket, or just a basket that you can put anything that you want in. The only thing we need for this project, well, you're gonna need a sewing machine, but you're gonna need 4 10-inch squares of woven fabric. I have this. I did leave the salvage on this because I'm not super concerned about it. I think sometimes it's fun, so I left it on. And then you're gonna need 2 10-inch squares of fusible interfacing. You don't need double-sided fusible interfacing. I recommend a medium weight. I'm actually gonna use a foam for this because I thought it would be super fun. It'll have like a nice sturdy effect to my box. So the first thing that we need to do is take 2 pieces. I should mention this is a what is it called? Reversible. It's reversible. So we're going to take our piece of fabric, let's see, to 8-10 inches. There we go. And then we are going to put our foam on top of it like that. And then we're going to go ahead and fuse it. So I'm going to do that with both of these pieces, and then we'll move on to our next step. All right, so we have everything fused. So, and as you can see here, I did fold this over. You do want to press the top, whatever is going to be the top of your box. So this will be the top. You want to press that over about 1/2 inch, just so you have a nice edge to work with. If you feel like ironing it, you can iron it. You do not have to iron it if you do not want to, but if you have a double-sided fusible interfacing, it can be helpful to iron it, just because it will stick. As you can see here, it sticks. And then you don't have to worry about messing with your little pressed hem there. So the next thing we need to do, we're gonna cut little notches. So we're gonna take, apparently this is not very fusible. That's frustrating. We're gonna match up our fabrics. This is my extra that I haven't folded over. I need to trim that a little bit because I only want about 1/2 inch folding over. Straight lines are not my strong suit, and that is what it is. Okay, so we have our 2 pieces of fabric matched up. You can see they're matched up like that. Turn it back over. We're gonna cut 2.5 inch notches. So I'm gonna line that out, or line that up, excuse me. And I'm gonna go, I have it lined up here with a 1/2 inch mark. I'm gonna trim this just so it's, you know what, I'm gonna leave it, that's fine. Okay, so I have it lined up with a 1/2 inch mark, so I can go 1/2, 1, 2. You know what, I'm gonna mark this. I feel like that would be a better idea. And then we'll go 1, 2, 1/2. And then I need a straight line. Let's see. We will make a straight line like that. And then I will make a straight line here just to make sure I'm cutting nice and straight. Okay. And then we're just gonna notch this out just like that. Come on, I don't want to rip it, but I also don't want to cut too far. Okay, then we need to do the very same thing here on the other side. So we're lined up, make sure it's straight, with a 1/2 inch mark here. So we'll go 1/2, 1, 2, and make a nice line here to mark it. And then we will do the same thing, 1, 2, 1/2, right there. Make a nice straight line and mark it. And then we will cut that one. Ah, doesn't want to separate, does it? really doesn't. Come on, friend. Come on out of there. Oh, that one really didn't. Almost got you. There it goes. Okay. So now we have these two pieces all ready to go. Then we have to do our other two pieces. So I'm going to do that and then we will come right back. All right, so I have both pieces done. The next thing we need to do is go ahead and sew down this line. So we're not gonna sew. We want to make sure this is pressed down while we're sewing because you want to catch this edge in your seam. You don't have to, there's a way to fix it later, but it is easier if you do it now. And then we're gonna sew down this seam. And then we're gonna sew here. We are not gonna sew here on the corners that we cut out. We're not doing that. So just here and here. So I'm gonna go do that on both pieces and then I'll be right back. All right, now that we have both of our, you can see the seams better, we sewed down both sides and there, you can trim if you want. I don't think I'm going to, I'm not. Okay, so we're gonna take the corners that we made here. We are gonna open them like so, align the seams. And I'm gonna put a pin or clip there. And we are just gonna sew right along here. So I will do that on this side too. I'm gonna align the seams. This one's squared up a lot better than the other one did. This is something that you will get better at with time. This is not a skill that I am used to, and you can see it's already making a nice little square. It stands up nicely. Set that to the side. We're gonna do the same thing over here, but that is kind of the same thing with all skills, everything sewing related. The more you do it, the better you will get at it, and the more seamless it will be. The last time my mom was here, I made her a running skirt, and she said it was weird to watch because I don't usually follow instructions when I'm sewing, and I just sort of started making it. And she said before she knew it, it was done. She said I made it quicker than she was able to cut it out, and that's because I've done it so much, to me it just feels natural. So there's our other one. So again, the more you do this, the smoother it'll be, the less kind of kinks you'll have in your go. But it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sew along all of these flat seams. So I'm going to do that on both pieces and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now both corners are sewn on the bottom seams. So what we're going to do now is butt these up like this. This is a little tricky. This is not a mandatory step. If you want to skip this step, that is fine. The only thing this step accomplishes is just making sure that the bottoms stay together. Otherwise, the bottom here can get a little baggy. With this foam, I don't really anticipate that being a problem. Also, I'm going to do it like this. That way I have foam holding up both sides. You want to make sure that the side you use the interfacing on is opposite when you end up attaching them. Otherwise, you'll have one really sturdy side and one sort of baggy side. But what we're going to do is take our corners here and we're going to just put a little clip in there. We're just going to kind of sew them together within the seam allowance. So we used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You can either stitch in the ditch or you can do a slightly shorter, like a 1/8 seam allowance if you have a thinner interfacing, and it will allow for that. But you don't need to sew the entire way across. You can, but you don't need to. This is sort of something that you'll learn as you go also. So we're just going to sew right along here, attaching these two together, and then we're going to sew right along here, attaching those two together. Okie dokie. They're sewn, they're attached, they're not coming apart. So fun. The next thing we need to do is turn one side out. This one will be different based on which foam you have, but essentially you're just going to push one into the other. Like that. side up here. Okay. And then we're going to find our side seams and line those up. Like that. We'll put a little clip right there. Like so. And here's where I said there would be a different way to do this if you decided not to sew all the way up. If you didn't sew all the way up, these would be free and you would just be pressing them down. But as you can see, we now have a box. And all we have left to do is top stitching these in place. So I'm gonna get a couple more clips and we are gonna clip that because I want to have as few wrinkles as possible. And I just would like it to be nice. I chose some fun gaming fabric for this because I thought it would be a perfect little box to put my son's headphones or controllers or anything in for his games. I'm gonna make him a couple of them, I think. I just thought it would be really great for that. Let's get that all the way up there. But you could make this for anything, really. If you made it with sturdy, I'm trying to think. Any sort of organizing, really. Anything you needed. You could even put it in your laundry room. Use it if you use pods to wash your laundry. You could maybe put some pods in there. Really all sorts of things. Okay, so again, is it perfect? No, this is absolutely not perfect. You can see here, there's a little bit of extra room, and that's fine. We'll just sort of flatten it out as we go. Maybe there'll be a wrinkle. This is for my living room. And as I make them, I'm gonna get better at them. And as you make them, you're gonna get better at them. What you wanna try to do is just make sure that the tops are even. When you do that, it's great. But then you'll have like this cute little box. You can poke out the corners a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew that, and then I will be right back. Okay. And our box is done. You can even fold it. You can fold it down a little bit if you want to, like that. So it's super cute. You could add a handle if you wanted a basket instead. So when you were top stitching, you could add a little handle. Sorry, I have a long tail. My bobbin ran out while I was finishing this. That's okay. And super cool is if you wanted to use different fabrics and change it up, it's fully reversible. So you could have 2 different baskets in one. So fun. So I hope you make a ton of these, and I hope you share them with us, and I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial.